Hello, buddy. Welcome back to 10 Man Score Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey 10 Man Taylor. Today I'm reacting to my second scariest storyteller, and that is Chillin' Tapes. And the video that I picked out to watch is 3 Unnerving True Highway Horror Stories. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this direction on the road and in the bag, shall we? Okay, here we go.
This happened to me a few weeks ago. I'm currently in college about an hour away from my hometown/parents' house.
Okay.
Every other weekend or so, I drive home to spend time with my parents. I then leave around 8 or 9 p.m. on Sunday nights to come back up to my apartment. By that time, the sun is set and it is completely dark out. My parents live in a very rural area of Ohio where there are fields for miles and little to no traffic at night. On particular Sunday, I was driving back to my apartment like usual. It was around 8:30. I'm about 25 minutes into my hour drive. It's dark out and I haven't seen a single car the whole ride.
First of all, that actually sounds like a perfect setting for me to drive through in countryside area, fields surrounding both sides of the road, and no other cars in sight. I mean, I wouldn't have to worry about traffic if I was driving by myself. But anyway, let's continue on with the story and see what happens next.
I drive through this tiny town with only one stoplight as I make my way to the interstate. As I reach the edge of this town into more country roads, a red, beat-up car cuts me off by pulling out in front of me. Obviously, I'm pissed. There are no other cars around. The guy could have waited for me to pass. I get over it quickly because my favorite song at the time comes on the radio and I start singing along.
Hey, I'll be pissed too if somebody cuts me off and there ain't nobody else hardly in the road. I'll be like, is this dude in a really big hurry? Or he just wants to show off and be a jerk?
I begin to notice that the car in front of me is only going about 45 miles per hour. The speed limit is 65, so it's a bit ridiculous. I look for ways to pass him, but an intersection is coming up. I decide to wait and see if he goes a different direction than me. It's a 4-way intersection, pitch black with no one else around. As we come closer to it, the car in front of me switches on its hazards and stops in the middle of the road. I slow down so I don't hit him. I see the driver's side window roll down and an arm wave at me as if to call me over for help. Now, I'm a very paranoid person, so I refuse to stop for someone I don't know in the middle of the night.
And I don't blame you for that because that's a little weird that at an intersection they turn on their hazards and wait for you to come over. I mean, that is a automatic red flag for a trap that was being set. Probably act like they need your help with something and then they rob you. Don't do it.
I quickly maneuver around the car and make my right turn at the intersection, leaving the car behind. I look in my rearview mirror and see the car switch off its hazards immediately and gun it out of there. Another car comes out of a driveway near the intersection and follows it. Remember, there was no one else on the road with us or for miles. I can only assume the 2 cars were together trying to get me to pull over and do God knows what with me. To this day, I don't drive that late home anymore.
Well, I'm glad your intuition kicked in and you went around that car, because if there was 2 vehicles involved, you definitely probably were going to be pinned in into like a trap to get robbed or kidnapped. But thankfully they didn't decide to follow you once you got out of there and they gunned it the opposite direction as you. But that will be creepy to experience while driving at night. But let's get on to story number 2, shall we?
I have a more or less unusual story that I would like to tell you. I have a clear memory of it.
Okay.
It takes place in 2021 to the day on October 26th. I was often driving back and forth from Montreal to Quebec City for my work and to see my family. It was late because I was driving almost at night, around 7 p.m. I was not on a highway, but on a national road, not very busy, surrounded by forests and plains. I didn't mind driving at night because I had good vision and little fatigue. But halfway to my goal, in the distance, in the middle of the road, I realized that there was someone crouched down, who seemed afraid. I was close to a town, so seeing a person didn't seem strange. Obviously, I wasn't going to run over him. I stopped on the side. I realized that it was a woman about my age who was crying. I go to her and ask her if she is safe, if she is feeling well. After a few minutes of silence, she ended up telling me in a feverish tone that she was being followed and that she was very afraid. I didn't know what to do. The stress was building up. This had never happened to me on this road.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange and scary. I'd be like, who's following you? Because I don't see no car. But then I'd be scared if he offered a ride for her and then she turned on him to rob him or make him get out of the car and she take the car. You always got to think about scenarios like this before you agree to help someone or offer to call 911 for them.
I stayed close to her, but I could hear footsteps behind us coming up the side of the road. At first, it was just a vague and distant shadow from my point of view, then a silhouette of a tall, thin man. My brain quickly understood that this was the person the girl was afraid of. She was paralyzed, still crouching, so I took her in my arms and put her in my car to take her to the nearest police station, so at least she would be safe and have a roof over her head for the night.
Well, so far, it don't seem like a set-up trap. Yeah, if you saw a tall guy coming out of the woods that was after a girl, you would definitely tell that girl to come on, get in the vehicle, and we're getting out of here before he starts speed walking or running up towards you.
I then started the engine and continued driving normally. But in the central rearview mirror, I could see the man more precisely. He was standing and not moving. He was dressed in an untidy way. To my astonishment, he got down on all fours, as an animal would, until the distance cut me off from his view. After this story, which was quite frightening at the time, I took the young woman back to a Quebec station and explained the situation. After a few days, I was able to get some information. This woman, who, if I may give an anecdote, is my companion today, fortunately, I took this road that day. She had broken down in the middle of the road. A man had come to talk to her and offered to help her and invite her to his house. She refused, finding the man aggressive and insistent. But the man was not satisfied. He started to grab her hand and she started to struggle and run. I found her after she had run ahead of the man. She was having a panic attack at that time. The man then followed her until I saved her, as she says today.
Oh, well, that's terrible that she would end up in her car and it broke down. And this guy offered to help her until he started acting creepy, being assistive, and wouldn't let go of her. Thank God you were riding along out that way and found her and saved her from that dude, but also got a companion for life now. Because if he didn't ride that way, she probably would have been grabbed again by that dude and assaulted, or worse, kidnapped or dead. That is very unnerving and creepy here.
This encounter happened in the summer of 2006 when I was 20 years old. I didn't get my driver's license until January of that year, and driving opened up so many doors for me that I took a lot of solo road trips to my friends' houses in New England/Mid-Atlantic states.
Right?
I also looked young for my age and was often mistaken for a high school student in my early 20s. I was driving alone on I-78 on a random July day on my way to visit my friend in southern Pennsylvania for a long weekend. Her parents were away, and we had the house to ourselves and were planning on drinking, hot tubbing, and watching Planet Earth drunk. Maybe run around some cornfields at night. I was so excited and had a great drive, listening to good music, and it was a beautiful day for driving. Right after I crossed the border from New Jersey into Pennsylvania, I stopped at one of the first rest stops to get gas and snacks for the last part of my drive. I have tried to figure out which rest stop this was and can't ID it, but it was a gas station with a large mini-mart. Opposite the gas station was the on-ramp back to I-78 West, and parallel to the on-ramp was a dirt road, which comes into play later. I was heading into the store when a man in his late 30s approached me. He was a stocky guy, decently tall, had on a plain black tee and jeans with dark brown hair and mustache. He had come out of a black pickup truck parked a few spaces away from my car. He had a super intense gaze and immediately creeped me out. He just had a crazy energy about him. I don't really get vibes from people that often, but this was so strange. He stood too close. His gaze was crazy focused. His word choice was strange. Immediately set off all my alarms. He asked if I was from the area, despite my Connecticut license plate, where I was headed, and if I knew of anything fun to do because he had plans later and time to kill beforehand.
Yeah, you automatically think, okay, he's not a threat that you know of. He's just wanted to know where he can go to have some fun, right? I got a feeling once this girl leaves the station and gets back in her car, he's going to follow.
He invited me to go play mini golf or watch a movie with him. I didn't answer any of his questions, declined his invitation to hang out, and told him I didn't know the area and walked away towards the store. I was blown away that he asked me to go somewhere with him. It was so random and uncomfortable. As I was walking away, he actually screamed out, "You're gorgeous," and the volume and tone made my hair stand on end. It was super aggressive and inappropriate, and he startled a family walking out of the store. It was so loud. I didn't turn around, but went inside. He came into the store shortly after and was staring at me, so I went to use the bathroom and stayed in for at least 10 minutes texting my friend about this creep. When I came out, he wasn't in the store anymore, so I took my time buying drinks and snacks and went out to gas up my car. I was relieved his car was gone and started thinking about the rest of my drive and getting excited to see my friend. When I pull up to the road to get back on the highway, I hear someone persistently honking his horn and see this creep show on the dirt road parallel to the on-ramp in his truck honking, shouting and waving at me to drive over to him. He was directly facing the gas station and had been waiting for me to pull up. I immediately freaked out and jumped on the on-ramp back onto I-78. He pulled onto the highway after me, and I called my friend extremely scared.
I knew it. You thought that he left, but he was on the dirt road waiting for you to leave. But this guy is so crazy thinking that this girl that he just met would actually come over there to him, but she is scared of you. And now he wants to follow her. Like he can't let go of her, basically.
I drove so fast and probably dangerously. Looking back, I am lucky that I didn't get into an accident, but I didn't know what to do. He didn't follow me for that long, and I think after a few exits he pulled off. My friend and I had a backup plan that if I saw his car again, she would direct me to a police station the next town over from her house, instead of me going directly there and leading some freak to us. I didn't see the car again and went to my friend's, but the last hours of my drive I was extremely tense and anxious. I remember checking my mirrors regularly for this black pickup truck. It all ended well. I got to my friend's house safely, and we had a nice weekend. The encounter was definitely creepy, but over the years, I didn't put much thought into it. A few years ago, around 2014, I was talking with another friend who was big into serial killers and mentioned my encounter, jokingly suggesting this was a serial killer I had met and told her my experience. She was fascinated and wanted to Google active serial killers in the Pennsylvania area at the time. The first hit was for Adam Leroy Lane, and he looked almost exactly like the man I met back in 2006. Obviously, it could be my mind filling in the blanks, but the basic characteristics 40s, tall but stocky, brown hair with mustache, and the time all match. In my memory, he was a little bit slimmer than the pictures, and it was 2006, not 2007, when he was actually convicted of murdering women. Still, it's an odd coincidence and one I've never forgotten.
I think I heard this story before on another person's channel, but I do remember them saying something about years later that a friend of theirs acted up and boom, that guy popped up, which is creepy to think about because you would think she didn't want to see him again, and then yet she saw his face. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more chilling tapes, reactions like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. I say that's a wrap, and have a nice day.